Hey everybody, welcome to Wildcare. It is Friday and today we have blue hair and a red hawk.
Yes.
Melissa, our ambassador program manager with Grace the Red Tail. What are we discussing today, Melissa?
So we're going to talk about how you identify a red-tailed hawk.
Excellent plan, since they're so common.
Yes, they are North America's most abundant hawk species. There's 4 hawk species that you can find in North America. Of course, you have the red-tailed hawk, the ferruginous hawk, rough-legged hawk, and Swainson's hawk. So the very first thing that you identify with a red tail is that red tail. Okay, they usually get that when they go into adulthood, and so it's a nice rusty red tail right there.
Back around here so I can see that.
And that can either have a bar or a couple bars going up it. So that's the most noticeable feature of a red-tailed hawk.
But I feel like not all of the red-tailed hawks have red tails.
No, they come in a lot of different color morphs too. There's about 4 subspecies of red-tailed hawks. There's western, eastern, Kreiders, and Harlans, and those all have different color morphs. They can be completely white, completely black, and any other shade in between. But this is a characteristic western red-tailed hawk we have right here.
Okay.
So the second one is, are they beefy? Are they big? And they are big. If you are looking at a hawk perching on, let's say, a pole, and it looks like it could be a linebacker for a football team, it's most likely a red-tailed hawk.
Grace, you look like you could be a linebacker for a football team. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Yeah, are they big, chunky, and beefy? Yeah, because you'll see some of the other ones. You'll see like a red-shouldered hawk sometimes on a wire, or you'll see like a kestrel when you're driving out into wine country. And they are a lot smaller and a lot lighter. And even your ferruginous hawks or your rough-legged hawks, a lot smaller, a lot less chunky and beefy than these guys. Now, the one thing that I always notice, though, that the way that I identify a golden eagle when I see one, if it's the biggest darn red tail you've ever seen in your entire life, it's probably a golden eagle.
Yep.
Needless to say, this is not a scientific method.
No.
So, red tail, okay, got it.
Big,
beefy.
She's about 3.5 pounds. It looks like she's going to jump here.
Oh.
This is called a bait. And so what we're going to do, get her back up. There we go. Okay.
And that's a pretty normal thing to have happen when you're working with a bird on the glove, right? Grace is pretty...
She's got an injury to her right wing, and that's why she kind of spins when she baits. Okay, real quick, the other ones are, does she wearing pants? Does she have feathers all the way down to the feet? She does not. The ones that do have that are the rough-legged hawk and the ferruginous hawk. The other one would be, do the wing tips go all the way down to the tail?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you can see that on her that they don't.
They don't. So a Swainson's hawk would. Okay. And then if she has a dark bib of feathers, that would be a indication of the Swainson as well. And does she look like a Muppet?
Look like a Muppet.
Yeah, ferruginous hawks have mouths that go all the way back and up like a Joker mouth.
Oh, interesting. And the ferruginous, I feel like, is the most commonly mistaken. You're easy to mistake for the red tail.
They do. But if it looks like it has a Joker smile, then it is a ferruginous hawk. And ferruginous hawks, again, have the feathers all the way down to the feet. So when a bird baits here, obviously they are working up some heat. So what we're doing right now is I'm taking the spray bottle. I've had our lovely assistant there, Lacey, give me the spray bottle so that I can actually cool down her feet, because that is where all the capillaries are. That's how they cool down. They do not sweat. So
do they pant? I know that. Okay. Do they do like a gular flutter, like the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they pant. So that's how they sweat, how we would say. And also we're just going to saturate her feet here. She might grouse. That's kind of where she lifts up all of her feathers like that, and you kind of go, ooh.
Interesting. That helps her dissipate the heat also.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, lots of things going on here, of course, is the winds around and everything like that. She still has a bit of a brood patch left right there.
Oh, yeah. Because she did lay an egg earlier this season, didn't she? That's right.
So that's Grace our red-tailed hawk.
Interesting. Now, the way that I always learned to identify a red-tailed hawk was with the patagic patches.
Yes.
So the 2 black patches on the inside of the wings. Obviously, we're not going to see those on Grace because we want her to stay nice and calm on the glove. But if you are looking up in the sky and you see a bird that has 2 black patches on the underside of the wings, kind of like epaulettes would be, kind of shoulder epaulettes, that's another way to tell that you're looking at a red-tailed hawk.
Right.
But I love the, she's like, hey, what are you doing? I love the Is he wearing pants,
Is he
right?
wearing pants?
It's a little challenging to tell on Grace here. Melissa, can you turn a little bit so her legs are in the sun? Other direction. Other direction. Yeah, kind of can tell. With her wearing her jesses around her ankles, it's hard to tell that those feathers don't go all the way down to her feet. But you have the other species, the ferruginous and the rough-legged, called the rough-legged because they're wearing those feathery pants. Yes, those birds would have those feathers all the way down to the tops of the feet, right?
They would.
Yeah, and that would be a good way to tell. Oh my gosh, yeah, that brood patch is really obvious right now. It's actually a bare spot on her chest that she would use to incubate the egg that she laid earlier in the season, and of course that has to grow back in. You said.
That has to grow back. She is molting. She just actually dropped a feather before I took her out.
Okay.
So she's definitely molting and growing all that back and growing in new flight feathers. Feathers are, of course, important for so many, or they serve so many different functions for them. But of course, keeping warm, flight, and camouflage.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, it looks like you guys have probably getting Grace back into her enclosure. It's been super fun learning a different way to identify one of our most common hawk species here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And you said actually that the red-tailed hawk is the most common hawk species across the country.
Yep, it is.
That's really interesting. Yep, most abundant hawk species. So you'll see a lot of these guys out here, and what a treat to be able to see her up close like this. Grace, Melissa, thank you so much. Everybody, we'll be back on Wednesday. Sorry for the jittery phone there. Thank you.